On the first day of my junior year of high school, my guidance counselor told me I wouldn't go to college. I grew up in a low income, single parent household, and none of my family had ever gone to college. According to my counselor, students like me should just simply find a job in my rural Minnesota town, settle down, and try to survive. Instead of leaving her office with a list of colleges to apply to, I left with advice to manage the single sandwich shop we had in our town. Maybe some of you know it, it's a little bit of a hole in the wall Subway. By the standards of my town, I was going to be a success story. I would have a job and I would survive. But it didn't feel like success to me. One day, I got an email from QuestBridge, a scholarship organization that connects low-income, high-achieving students with top universities in the country. On a whim, I decided I should apply. It was my one shot to get my version of a success story. And it worked. I applied and got into my first choice school, the University of Chicago, with a full ride. In an instant, my life changed, and it was the best day of my life. But in a way, it was also one of the scariest days of my life. I didn't know what it meant to go to college or how to have a future I could shape. My first couple of years of college, I spent fumbling around trying to figure out my major, and I eventually settled on molecular biology. I started working in a molecular biology lab, and while I really loved research, I wasn't passionate about the questions that I was asking. By my fourth year of college, I was about to graduate, and I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life or where my career was going to go. However, I was taking classes in animal behavior, field ecology, and evolutionary biology, and I loved them. All of the topics interested me so much more than any molecular biology concept I had learned about. But I had no idea that I could do it as a career. However, my professors, teachers, TAs, advisors knew that I could, and they took an intentional and caring approach to my education and helped me foster this passion inside me. One mentor in particular was a fish biologist, and she recommended that I apply to this grant where I basically have to pretend like I'm a PhD student proposing a research project. I had no idea how to do any of this or what it even meant to apply to a grant, and her piece of advice was to find a passion and run with it. And so I went onto Google and I literally Googled cool fish structure, and I landed on the exciting topic of fish venom. Now, when I say venom, you're probably thinking about spiders and snakes and scorpions, and while they're very cool, they're actually pretty boring in terms of venom delivery. Snakes and spiders are delivering venom the same way across all species, which is through fangs. And while scorpions are mixing it up a little bit with some fun spines on their back tails, they're all still delivering it using the same structure. But fish, they're delivering venom with all kinds of different structures. So just like snakes and spiders, we have fanged fishes like blennies. We also have fish that deliver venom using spines in their fins, like lionfishes and stonefishes. And so they have these big spines on their back fins that help them deliver venom. There's also stargazers and weavers that have these massive spines on their heads that help them deliver venom, which is actually so cool. But my favorite venomous group of fishes are the surgeonfishes. And for the movie buffs, it's Dory and her close relatives. What makes the surgeonfishes super cool in terms of venom delivery is that they're doing it through this modified scale on their back tail called a scalpel. And they use their venom to protect farms. So just like people are farmers, so are some fish. Now, instead of farming corn and soybeans, these fish are farming algae. Now, while fish venom is inherently cool, it's also really cool from the perspective of evolutionary biology questions. I love asking questions of like, why do we see all this variation in fish venom? How are they using their venom? What is making up their venom? What factors are causing all of these independent evolution of venoms? And are these factors integrated or connected with one another to further promote evolution or constrain it? Now, while I love a good sandwich, I'm much more passionate about these questions than I am about a $5 footlong. I'm so passionate about these questions, in fact, that it's the topic of my dissertation at the University of Chicago. As a researcher, I get to ask these questions all day. And in order to ask these questions, I get to go to Tahiti and spearfish. I go to Okinawa, Japan, and get to scuba dive. And I also get to travel across the country to different museums and interact with the public. I love my life. I've found my passion, and I have a future that I never thought that I would ever have. And it's because I had really intentional and caring mentors who took a serious investment into my education and supported me trying to find my passion. As a student, this is the greatest gift that I can receive. And I'm really passionate about returning that favor. But it's hard because I can't return that favor to my mentors because they already have a passion, they already have a life, they already have a career that they enjoy. And so I would often ask them how I can repay this debt, give back the gift that I've been given. And they all said the same answer: pay it forward. And I intend to do that. So while I'm super excited to talk to you guys about the evolution of venom delivery in fishes or connect with you about my passion for evolutionary biology, I do hope that you also reach out to me to talk about what it's like to apply to college or what it's like to start researching in a lab, or if you just feel lost, because I fundamentally believe that everyone has a passion and it's just a matter of finding it. So I'm looking forward to connecting with all of you, and don't forget, eat fresh.